we can still choose to struggle. I don't believe in rewarding a fish for swimming. I don't know that that's ever happened to me in the 23 years of me being a mom. Welcome back to another vlog. It's Latricia Nicole. Today is Thursday. Yeah, September 25th. It's like 7:20 in the morning. I'm off today, but I'm not off today. I'm off from my 9 to 5. I am about to scramble and get the baby dressed. I have to go check Dylan out of school this morning, but then I have to drop JC off at school, and then I have to get Dylan to a doctor's appointment. He has an endocrinologist appointment today all the way in Baton Rouge. So I finally made it to the car. Today is JC's school day. So on her school day, she goes to school for 3 hours. I scheduled Dylan an appointment to go to the endocrinologist before school started back. So I didn't know what day she would be going to school. And I can't reschedule his appointment. So what I did was, instead of me trying to rush to take off for a few hours, get her to school, take him to his appointment, come back to where I live, pick her up from school, and then go to work, I just had to, hey, I just took off for today. We can't do everything. Moms try, but we cannot do everything. And so no matter how much I try to save my time or whatever for work, today just was a day where I had to put in and take off. So it is what it is, though. Okay, so it is much later in the morning. It's 11:29. Y'all, he missed his appointment. He didn't miss his appointment. I missed his appointment. I already knew that I was going to be pushing it. So we get on the interstate. I'm like, okay, I know that there's a 15-minute grace period. So if worst case scenario, we might get there between 5 and 10 minutes late, which is fine because I would have still been within the grace period, right? Get on the interstate, get into Baton Rouge, and literally the traffic is not moving at all. So I'm on the phone with my mom, and my mom told me that there's planned construction on the interstate. So his appointment is rescheduled for Tuesday. Mind you, this is an appointment that we scheduled back at the end of July, I believe. End of July, beginning of August. So now I have to make other arrangements with JC because I can't be in two places at once. So it's either JC will be coming with us if my husband cannot take off work, or my husband's gonna have to see if he can take off work on Tuesday and get her to therapy. Y'all see what I be saying when I say all the time in the vlog? It's literally just me and my husband. Like, it's me and my husband trying to figure out, which, I mean, it's supposed to just be us, you know, those are our children. But the point I'm making is, it be a lot going on. So yeah, and I was down about it at first, I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. At least it was able to be rescheduled for Tuesday and not like a whole nother month or so out, and it's an appointment that he has to go to. So what can I do? I can't. Who am I gonna get mad at? The construction people? I don't know. So anyways, we are about to pick JC up from school for 12, so we just gonna order Wingstop and go home. So, but yeah, that's how my morning is going. So, yeah, you win some, you lose some. Okay, so I ordered boneless, but they gave me traditional, but whatever. I got I got flavored original hot, and I got, what I got? Smoked Chipotle, somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan got tenders, and Kennedy got boneless wings. But the real star of the show is the corn. I love the corn. So I'm actually about to eat, since I am. I haven't had it in like almost 2 weeks.
How you?
Since I am off the rest of the day, I'm about to eat and take me a nap, me and JJ. So. Welcome back to another day in the vlog. Today is Friday, September the 26th. It was not a 5 o'clock morning because Dylan did not have football practice, but he refuses to get on the bed. He refuses to get on the bus, so I'm dropping him off to school. And then I'm taking JC to get her breakfast. Coming back, getting me and JC dressed because I am going into an event that we have for work. So I'm actually really excited. It's like an employee engagement event, I guess you could say. So I get to hang out with like this is actually my second time. I'm not actually going into the office today, but I am still going into the office, if that makes sense. Y'all, I'm so tired. I'm tired. And then my husband got the grand idea that he wanted to go. My husband is like a band head. He wants to go to Southern University and Jackson State, have their game this weekend, tomorrow. But tonight they're having a battle of the bands at Southern, and it starts at 8 o'clock. Y'all, we be in the bed. We be in the bed for like 6:30. How we going to something that starts at 8 is beyond me. But we are going. My mom is going to come here and watch JC. So it'll be me, Jesse, Kennedy, Dylan, and my niece is coming with us. So today is going to be an eventful day. But what I will tell you is when I clock out of work today, I'm going to have to take me a little rest of the eyes until we get ready to go to the Battle of the Bands. Jesse been talking all week. I'm going to have to stop and give me a Red Bull or something. So I don't know, but it should be exciting. So we're going to see. All right, so we finally got in the car. My idea of I was going to leave a little bit early. Yeah. Anyways, I need to make sure. Of course, I'm about to stop and get me a coffee. I would love to get 7 Brew. I try my hardest not to go into Baton Rouge. And where we're actually going for the event is not far from 7 Brew. But if I'm already going to be a couple minutes late, like, girl, don't. So before I leave from where I live, I'm going to stop at PJ's, get me a coffee, drop her off, and then I'm headed out. Yeah, so let me call my daddy. Let me order my coffee, and I'll come back. So the line at PJ's was ridiculous, which it normally is on a Friday, and that's why I wanted to leave a little bit early. So we have like this small local coffee shop here, and it's on my way. I actually had forgot all about them. So I stopped and got a iced pumpkin brulee. That is so good. She was like, she asked me if I just wanted pumpkin spice or if I wanted the brulee. And I'm like, she was like, the brulee has like vanilla and white chocolate and the pumpkin spice. And she was right. Oh, that is so good. It actually tastes like a cookie. But I'm finally headed to see my work girlies. Let's talk about yesterday. Since I'm in the car, I have some time to chat. Y'all, I felt so bad that my baby missed his appointment yesterday. So I don't know if I mentioned this before. So Dylan had his physical, his yearly checkup, but he also had his sports physical back in July. He also had been complaining about, like, sometimes he was having a hard time swallowing. So when we mentioned it to the doctor said that it may be something dealing with his thyroid. Now, Dylan had an overactive thyroid when he was born, so he was on medication to regulate his thyroid hormone for like the first 1.5 years of his life. We'd gotten to the point where they tapered him off of the medication, and it was fine without medication. At the time, the endocrinologist that we were seeing, she said she didn't really know what caused it, but because I had a lot of complications during pregnancy, I was on a lot of medications. Her best educated guess at the time was that it was induced by some of the medications that I was taking while I was pregnant. Now, granted, this was 15 years ago. Dylan is about to be 16. So sure enough, his pediatrician did like the blood work, and it came back that his thyroid level is elevated, so much so that she had to refer him out to an endocrinologist. So that's why I was just like, and mind you, all of this started back in July. So it took that long for us to get him into the specialist. So when I knew that we were beyond the 15-minute mark, so I called the doctor's office. The receptionist that answered, she told me to hold on. She reached out directly to the doctor's office because it's a group of physicians through the hospital here. And so she put me through to the actual office, and the lady, she was so nice and she was so apologetic, and I'm like, you don't have to apologize, like you didn't do anything. But she kept saying, unfortunately we have to reschedule his appointment. So she asked me if I could bring him Tuesday for 8:30. Instantly, my mom mind was like, 8:30 is a conflict because JC has to be dropped off at therapy. So in true me fashion, I called my husband. Now, mind you, I have surgery coming up, and my husband is actually taking off a week of work for when I have my surgery. Hopefully that's all he needs to be off, but of course it's like, if depending on where I am at the end of that week, will determine if he needs to take off longer. So I called my husband, and I'm almost in tears because I don't like not being able to do something for my kids. I for sure don't like missing no doctor's appointments. I don't know that that's ever happened to me in the 23 years of me being a mama, to be honest with you. So I call my husband. I tell him what's going on. He said it's okay. And I kept telling him, I said, I'm only one person. I can't be in two places at one time. And the other part of it is, sure enough, I could have skipped, which that's what it would have been. I was going to have to, like, JC was just going to have to come with me, which would have meant that she would have missed either a full day of ABA therapy or at least a half of day, because her day is broken into 2 sessions or whatever. So my husband got off the phone with me. He said, it's going to be okay. He got off the phone with me, and he called me right back, and I told Dylan. I knew when he called me back with his phone, he said, I took off. I'm off the whole day, so you fine. He said, if you need me to take Dylan so that you don't have to miss work again, because remember, I took off work yesterday for the appointment. So he was like, if you need me to take Dylan so that you don't have to miss work again, or if you need me to drop JC, whatever you need me to do, I'm off the whole day. And let me say this, I don't believe in rewarding a fish for swimming, okay? So him taking care of the kids is, you're a parent, that's what you're going to do. So I don't believe in, but the reality of it is that my older children are not his biological children. And so, I feel like he goes above and beyond the call of a bonus parent. He didn't have to take off work so that my baby could go to the doctor. I hate saying it like that because he, but it is what it is. He didn't have to make that sacrifice. And that always triggers like other emotions about other situations when it comes to my older children, but that's neither here nor there. But I said all of that long story to say this. I am forever grateful for where God has me. I'm forever grateful for the situation that God put me in and the husband that God blessed me with. I am forever. God gave me what I never knew that I needed. At the time when I was going through the toughest times in my life, I never wanted to get married again. Never. But God is all knowing. Like, God knows what we need, when we need. And the thing about God is that God gives us free will. So we make decisions outside of the will of God all the time because that's our free will to do so, However, like the gracious parent he is, God is always there to help us clean up our mess. God is always there to help us right our wrongs. God is always going to be there to help us correct ourselves, but we have to make the first move. That's the thing about God. Like, I don't feel like God is a God of, I'm going to make you do this. I feel like God puts you in a position to where he's the only option you have. But once again, we still have free will. We can still choose to struggle. We can still choose to go through things that we don't have to go through and not seek God for comfort, not seek God for guidance, So it was just a gentle reminder, Yesterday was a gentle reminder because y'all, I was in tears. Dylan was like, "Mama, this is gonna be okay." I mean, he a kid. He didn't really want to go to the doctor anyways. He kept saying, "What they gonna do when I go in there?" You know, he didn't really want to go anyways. But there wasn't like a regular pediatrician appointment that we could have just rescheduled. You know, that was really important. It was some, you know, he has something that's going on that needs to be addressed, and we've already waited almost 2 months to get him into the doctor. Now, granted, I knew I was pushing it trying to get him there when I dropped JC off. Come to find out, it was some type of emergency. In fact, that's why I'm not, I didn't even check to see if they still doing it today. That's why I'm not even getting on the interstate. It was some type of emergency, something that they had going on the interstate. I don't know. So here we are hours later. It is 6:33 and we are just getting ready to leave home. We are going to drop the baby off at my mom's house. My mom is going to bring the baby back to our house, but it was just quicker for us to drop her off to her instead of us waiting on her to get off and come to our house.
Oh, waiting on this?
Yeah.
You gonna lock the door?
Yeah. And then we're headed to the Battle of the Bands. So I will be lying if I said I wasn't tired though. Like that field day with my behind. But it was so. I ain't got one either.
Huh?
You got the same kind of charger I got?
Yeah.
I got it. But yeah, it was so much fun. I was so happy to be able to see my coworkers, even ones that I had never met in person, because you know, whatever. So anyways, so normally this is about the time where me and my husband are getting ready to go to bed. But we are headed out with the kids tonight. So let's see how this goes. It is the next morning. It's Saturday. It's the end of this vlog. It's 9:09. I just dropped JC off to therapy. And I'm going to get me a coffee, but I'm also going home to get back in the bed. Y'all, I don't know who I thought I was, baby. Out there playing volleyball, kickball, jig aerobics, all of the things. And then I did not go to bed last night until probably, it was after 12:30, like probably closer to 1 o'clock. And mom is tired. I'm tired. I need some rest. So while she's at therapy, I'm going to take full advantage of that. But I had that coffee I had yesterday, y'all, was so good. I want it again. I'm just going to get probably like a medium this time. But yeah, my husband normally, if he's at home, he normally drops her off to therapy. But my husband's birthday was Wednesday, and he wanted it's this larger barbecue grill. He wanted a grill for his birthday. Y'all, I get up this morning looking for him after he had gotten JC's breakfast and everything. He's in the garage putting his grill together. So I told him I would just drop the baby off since, you know. But yeah, so this is the end of this vlog. This one is a little bit longer than usual because I had a lot of stuff going on. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. That's it. That's all. Bye.